Hi everyone, this is Semal Bodh Mastani here. Welcome to the Inner Reset. It's an exciting time of the year as we welcome in 2024. And this is a really great time to get really clear on the intentions we want to bring out into the world. For me, intentions are a way that we co-create with life, we co-create with the universe by making it really clear on what it is that we want to call into our life. You become a creator when you define your goals, and what's even more important is to know why you want to bring those goals into your life. Thoughts are things, and when you focus on something, you bring more energy to it, and eventually you will experience it. And this has really been my experience. So I want to tell you my story. So around 8 years back, I was working in London as a management consultant. I was working at one of the big four consultancies. And all up to then, although I had done all the right things, like I'd worked really hard in school, I'd got all the good grades, and I was working in my dream job in London. So, I was living the independent woman's dream. However, I was still not feeling really fulfilled by what I was doing with my life. We spend over 40 hours a week working, and it's a big chunk of our life. Our waking world is a lot about the work that we do, and when that work is not fulfilling, it's not giving us something back, it really creates a big void inside, and that was what I was facing. And I was really struggling to figure out what to do with this. There were two things that made me really uncomfortable with working in the corporate world. One was the very capitalistic nature of it, which everything was like profit maximization. So it felt really very different to the very deeply spiritual path I was on. At this point, I was very deep in my spirituality. I've been doing a lot of different kinds of mindfulness practices, and it really felt like my calling to go deep into that. But there was no way I could imagine that I could be able to sustain a living through that path, which is why a lot of my focus was on my career, on earning and becoming independent, because my life had taught me, like being back home in a patriarchal society had taught me that a woman does not have a say on her life unless she can be independent and earn her own money. So I was, these two parts of me were really conflicting. And as I really sat with this question, what would I do if I could do anything in the world? Because I was still very passionate about giving back to the world, but I needed to earn a living, I needed to pay all these bills, also live the life and have the freedom that I wanted. And so I really took time to step back and pause on that question. If I could do anything in the world, what would it be? If I could do anything in the world, what would it be? And I really took a few days to simmer, to sit with this question, to get really clear on what it is that my heart desired. As I sat with this question, the answer that came for me was to bring consciousness into the way we work. Why? Because that was, for me, blending together my interest in spirituality, mindfulness, consciousness, building a more conscious world, and also bringing it to the world of work, which is where I had spent 10 years of my life, kind of progressing and learning and exploring. So bringing consciousness into the way we work, for me, felt like a merging of these two areas that I was deeply passionate about. But I had no idea how I would do it. I had no savings. I did not have any degree in consciousness or spirituality or any of that. I was just a management consultant. My degree was in engineering and data science and data visualization. But I just sat with that question, and I just let myself believe that at some point in the future I might be able to make this happen. And slowly, as I just made it clear in my being, slowly, certain doors started to open. I found these MBA programs in the US where there was a possibility, or at least what they sold us at the time, was that if you did this program, you'd be able to earn a lot of money doing the job you loved. And I knew I had to work for the rest of my life. I didn't have any savings, I didn't have any rich parents with big inheritance. So I started exploring the route of, okay, maybe I do an MBA degree, I move to the US, I work in, and at that time there were all these startups which are still there now, which were in this mindfulness space. You had Calm and different kind of startups which were mindfulness apps. So my idea was that, okay, the way I could see myself doing it was if I went to the US, I did an MBA, and then I worked at the startup which was focused on mindfulness. That was my way of bringing mindfulness into the way we work. And why, again, for me it was really important to help leaders be more conscious, because I felt like when leaders are more conscious, they can make better decisions for themselves, for their employees, for their customers, and then it ripples out into the society at large. And that was my plan. And then life happened, and then I moved to Sri Lanka, and I was actually able to open Home Tree Co-working with that very same mission at heart, which was to bring consciousness into the way we work. And that happened probably like 4 or 5 years after I set that intention. And that is the power of setting intentions. In some ways, my dream manifested earlier, and it may be more easier than I thought. I thought I had to be, in the US working for a startup, but here I had the opportunity to have my own startup in this. And none of this would have been possible if I hadn't taken time out to sit with the question of what did I want to bring into my life, to make it really clear where did I want my life to go. And so this is something I would invite you to do this year, in 2024, is to take that time out for yourself to really sit with these big questions about where is your life going, where do you want your life to go. And I will be offering a 1-hour workshop where I will be putting together some really amazing frameworks and inner reflection questions and guidelines to really sit with these questions and get clear on which areas of our life are we not too happy with, which are the areas, what are the things that bring us joy, that bring us excitement, how do we bring that into the things that we're already doing. And the best part about this process is that it doesn't require you to quit what you're doing. It really brings together everything that you're doing. Be more conscious about the direction you want to take your life. So if that is exciting for you, join me for the workshop and I will see you there.